welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man that just finished a delicious piece of pineapple upside-down cake and did 18 push-ups. It's Victor Dandridge Jr.
Hey, I did it all at the same time, mind you. One hand on them, one hand.
You did 18 one-armed push-ups while holding a fork or spoon in your other hand, eating pineapple upside-down cake.
I'm sorry. When I'm in my workout mode, I'm an absolute savage. So we don't use forks or spoons. We eat with our bare hands. Wow. Okay. What you do is you alternate hands. It gets a little sticky, but you alternate hands as you do it. Keeps you balanced. You see?
That's an interesting technique. When I used to do that, I would kind of elevate the pineapple upside down cakes. When I went down, I'd take a bite and go up, go down, take a bite.
Yeah. I like that. I might try that on my next round.
It's an Ohio thing that you guys do. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're crazy that way. Buckeyes are nuts, okay? That's all I'm going to say. It's a truism, okay? It's right there.
Oh, well, hey, thank you so much for joining me. You were a guest on the Deep Blue Sea podcast, one of our more popular eps. We talked about prequels to Deep Blue Sea. We talked about jet ski chases. It was glorious. And I'm glad to have you back. And we got to talking, and you said you wanted to talk about The Visit by M. Night Shyamalan. Like, why'd you want to discuss this movie?
So, okay, first and foremost, M. Night fan since, right? I won't say day one, I'll say day two, because as much as I appreciate The Sixth Sense, that was not the movie that did it for me. Like, I gave him his marks. It was Unbreakable, his second feature, that really made me fall in love with him as a storyteller, director, the whole nine.
No.
The Visit.
Oh, no, you're a comic book writer. You write comic books.
Yes.
Unbreakable is my favorite comic book movie ever made. Yeah.
This is why we're friends.
Like,
right here.
I just got goosebumps talking about it. I like it more than Endgame. I like it more than Dark Knight. I love how humid it is. Human it is. And I guess it does get humid in Pennsylvania.
It's humid too.
Yeah, I feel like it's humid in the summer. So yeah, I feel that. Oh, yes. But yeah, you got Mr. Glass. You get his origin story. You get David Dunn's origin story. You get the man in the orange jumpsuit spitting beer on that dead lady chained to the radiator.
That was so dirty, man. That's dirty.
That's one of the craziest PG-13 visuals I've ever seen in my life. I have never.
Yes.
I watch a lot of movies, and I forget about 90% of them because I just got to keep. I really do. I got to keep I always have assignments each week, so it's like just putting stuff out there.
Your consumption's got to be high.
And you got to push stuff out to get new stuff in, and Deep Blue Sea takes up 98% of my brain, but I would say this scene from Unbreakable takes up 0.007, which is still pretty good. And
that's a lot.
Just the comic books, like the shop. I mean, this is before comic books were cool. This was before Blade had come out. But I mean, still, if anything, there was X-Men, Spider-Man stuff. But Unbreakable,
it actually predates X-Men,
and it's so good.
Like, how crazy is that?
The comic book store, Mr. Glass. I mean, and I love that movie. And I was actually researching a lot of M. Night Shyamalan, of his works, and for years Sam Jackson and Bruce Willis would harass him about a sequel. They were like, Sam Jackson, he has some funny stories. Whenever he saw M. Night, he's like, "Hey, mother effer, like, when we doing a sequel?" Like, that's what he would say in M. Night. And like one time, their cars stopped next to each other randomly in L.A. Jackson puts down his window and gets M. Night to put down his window, and then he's like, "Hey, mother effer, when we doing a sequel?" Like, he's been harassing him.
Oh my God, I love it.
Sorry to interrupt you on that, but
with good reason.
You're a creator.
No, but I mean, that's with good
Unbreakable was about the comic books, and it was a comic book movie, and it was a superhero movie, and it was supremely effective. So yeah, it's kind of cool that we're on the same page about that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Again, as a writer, one of the things that you take note of, or about with Unbreakable is the fact that it's the first act of the story. And the idea of stopping the movie at the end of the first act, when the hero finally realizes, hey, I have these powers and this is who I'm going to be, credits, like, that's insane. That's like, take the Sam Raimi, Spider-Man universe, and after, Peter realizes that the guy that killed Uncle Ben is the guy that he could have stopped, and he, suddenly kills that guy, or that guy kills himself. It depends on how you want to look at it. And then as soon as he's like, I'm going to be Spider-Man, and then credits. M. Night was able to tell an entire movie out of what is normally the first 15 minutes of a film. And that's brilliant. So that's, like, when it comes to craft and storytelling, he had me. He absolutely had me. And that takes us to, I mean, through The Village, Signs, so many different things. When we get to the Visit, that was one where my feelings towards M. Night were in a resurgence. Like, he had a couple movies that I wasn't necessarily loving, but between Devil and The Visit, he got
Devil's
me
so good
in the biggest way possible. Oh my, people
sleep
on this movie. Like, they knock out. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how good this movie is. It's subtle. But thematically, I mean, if you like Signs, Devil has just the same amount of religious, almost continuity to it. And it's all there. It's so cool. The setup of, the devil works harder, when things are going wrong. So if you ever have like a bad day and it just seems to be a series of things after another, that's the devil work. I'm like, come on. That is the most intense, spiritually, crazy thing.
And
get to The Visit and he pivots. It's still scary, but for a totally different reason. And
it's hilarious.
I love that movie.
And I remember I was in the theater and the trailer for Devil came on, and like M. Night didn't even direct Devil, he produced it, and like people, he wrote it, like came up with the idea, but people laughed when they saw M. Night Shyamalan, and I was in a packed theater.
Come on.
And this is right. You got to understand, like this is after The Happening, which I adore. It's after Lady in the Water. Yeah, it's after.
I love that one.
Oh, dude,
I love Lady in the Water.
Here's the thing about M. Night. Like, so he started, like, I know he directed Wide Awake, he wrote Stuart Little, but Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, Signs. Unbreakable wasn't a blockbuster, but Sixth Sense and Signs were. I was working in theaters a movie theater when that came out. I saw lines and lines of people just loving it. But when The Village came out, it was like like, when, like, you had this steel door that, like, no one could kick in, but then, like, Village came out and the door cracked a little bit. Like, the door, there's some cracks, like, there's some cracks in the armor. And then Lady in the Water came in, and critics and audience just started kicking the crap out of this door, burst it open. Happening comes out, everyone hates on it. Last Airbender, After Earth, like people just got on this M. Night hate train, and then he recenters himself, raises $5 million off of his home, like he mortgaged his home, and he goes and makes The Visit for $5 million. Studio executives turned it down. They're like, "This is
Are you serious?
This is bad. This is not a good movie." No one wanted to work with him. So he made this movie with his own money, and then he goes and he shows it to all the heads of Hollywood, and they're like, "No, we do not want this." So he goes back and he re-edits it. He takes out the score, he takes that out, he tightens it up, then he takes it to Blumhouse, and Jason Blum is like, "Yeah, let's do this. Like, I didn't make it.
Gimme.
I didn't pay for this. I'll distribute the heck out of this thing." So they distribute it, and it goes on to make over $100 million worldwide.
Come on. That is a success.
Were you not so happy when The Visit came out? Because it was M. Night recentering, M. Night making a comeback, like him embracing what he's best at. And I found another quote from him. He didn't want to make thrillers his whole life, but then eventually he's like, "I love Agatha Christie books. When I open an Agatha Christie book, it's a thriller, it's a mystery. So why not go see an M. Night movie and just be a thriller?" He's like, "I want to write. I'm happy doing nothing." So now he's finally found peace. He can make thrillers for the rest of his life. And he said he wants to be the Tim Duncan of thrillers.
I'm with that. I am so with that. Tim Duncan, again, another understated, phenomenal basketball player.
Always.
People want to be like, "Oh, count the rings." Let's look at what the man did for the game. Okay? Like, don't just look at it on an individualized team basis. What did he do for the game? Those are
when he said Tim Duncan, because he's like probably one of my favorite players ever. I was like, man, that's awesome. Like, because he wants to be the Tim Duncan of thrillers.
Yeah. I give him mad props because he didn't pick somebody from the Pistons.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like somebody from a Philly-based team, Pistons or
like Iverson.
76ers. Like he didn't. Yeah, like he didn't pick anybody from a Philadelphia the Pistons
Detroit.
are in Philadelphia. That's in Michigan. My bad. Sorry. My bad. But yeah, the 76ers. He didn't pick anybody from a Philly-based team, and he could have because he's so Philly. But in that regard, I think that what we're hearing is what happens when somebody is given so many accolades. I mean, he was called the next Spielberg, and that's a lot to deal with. You know what I'm saying? I think that any quote unquote misstep that he made career wise is because he was trying to not be, but live up to that concept. And once he recentered, like you said, and he was like, let me be M. Night, that's where he shined. You know, even in producing Devil, he shined because it was tight story. It was quick. Boom, boom. The concept was great. The concept of The Visit is so dope. If this was, and the reason why I love this, again, taking something that is only supposed to be functional in a small set and making it a movie, he's phenomenal. If this was an episode of Tales from the Crypt, Tales from the Dark Side, The Outer Limits, Twilight Zone, and it only had like a 8-minute piece, it would be probably one of people's favorite episode from that series. But he was like, I can make a movie out of this. And he did. And it's great. Oh my God. He plays around with found footage. Come on.
I had to send you a message.
People give him his
while
roses.
watching. And I had only watched it once and I loved it. I watched it again for this.
Yeah.
And I sent you a message. I'm like, this movie is so much funnier the second time around because it has such a mean sense of humor. There's murder in this movie. People die.
Yes.
A 15-year-old girl stabs a escaped psychiatric ward patient to death with a glass shard. A kid gets over his freezing by tackling a man, then turning this man's head into pineapple upside down cake with a refrigerator. It's violent, but it also has just a sense of humor to it that is quite sly. I think it's a sly sense of humor with the diaper bit. I mean, a child gets a diaper, like a germaphone smushed in his face. It is. I've never laughed harder. And when the grandma in air quotes is chasing the kids around the basement, and then she walks out from underneath it with like her butt showing because her pants are ripped. It's the weirdest, funniest, and it's better the second time, I think, because you can just enjoy the experience. Yeah.
See more. You definitely see more. I think one of the things that, as always, after Sixth Sense, people came to M. Night movies to look for the twist. That's what they came for. And you're looking so hard for the forest that you fail to see the trees. So after you watch The Visit and you know what, the twist is going to be, go back and watch it. And it becomes so obvious throughout the whole movie that there are these things that are not right. And it becomes that much more clear and brilliant how he'll take you to a place of utter terror and then make you laugh. So that way you don't quit, right? Like you're still invested and the mystery still maintains. Even after you've seen it, the mystery still maintains because you'll go through, oh my God, no. That's funny. Look, her butt's out. Like he throttles and then he pulls back and he throttles and then he pulls back until you finally make it to the end. And it's this glorious payoff. He is a master storyteller.
I gotta say, I love a lot of people are like, why didn't the kids just leave? These kids are children, and children, they're children, and you get the sundowning breakdown, you get the incontinence breakdown. I mean, these are kids who, I think at this age, I mean, they are definitely jaded. They definitely hurt with their parents split and their dad leaving, and they have like a lot of sadness on themselves, and so they're really dedicated to finishing this film. A lot of people are like, why didn't they run? Like, what? I mean, these are kids, and these are explanations. These explanations hold up for about the first half of the movie, and I think once it gets, and then also it's a movie. You have to keep you have to keep people in. You have there's suspension of disbelief. So I think the way that they hold them in there, and I love when Catherine Hahn, who's awesome, and she's like, those aren't your grandparents. You're just going, oh!
Yeah, like that's, and you're like, what do you mean? Like this whole time, what are you talking about?
They've already murdered people. They murdered Stacy. They had murdered a few other people. Yep. So, I mean, they're not just these kids aren't going to run away. And that kid freezes.
Right.
So then that's another reason to keep him in the house.
That's a real moment. Yeah. Real moment. Fear is not something that you can always calculate how you're going to respond. And nothing plays that better than having a kid that's afraid, and a kid that's afraid of something that an adult is going to do doubles down even more. If you have kids out there, if you guys are listening and you've seen how if you walk up on a kid, even if they're not doing anything wrong, the tone of your voice, what are you doing? They will freeze. And it'll be this whole like cognitive sort of shutdown of What am I doing? Was I supposed to do this? I don't know. Like it's amazing. I have kids ranging from 3 to 18. I can do it to the 3-year-old. I can do it to the 18-year-old. Same response. It's what do you mean? What do you mean? And again, because a person of authority is addressing you, it's even if it's a semblance of authority, they're addressing you, it shuts you down. This all works so well, especially as you're talking about for kids. The explanations work because they don't have an argument against it. They're not skilled enough, they're not experienced enough to argue against that concept, and everything seems to be going that way until another authority figure, their mom, explains that's not your grandparents. Now it shuts down that whole concept of, well, now I have to listen to you because who you are no longer applies. Like, that is not who you are, and now we have to refocus this thing. It's so smart.
And I bought into the idea of Catherine Hahn's character. I know that she's the one who could have had forgiveness the whole time, but she chose not to. Like, my parents got divorced. My mom was on her own. And I see a lot of Han's character in my mom growing up. Like, you're on your own. You're looking like you're by yourself. You're full of hurt. You're going off like on cruises. Like, you're probably not all there because you're working all the time.
Right.
Like, she's a Walmart sales associate on a cruise liner.
Right.
So I don't know. I even bought into her character as well. There were some complaints about her character being like a bad mom. But I think there are a lot of parents who are single parents who are more worried with their own issues and work and bills, and you don't really pay attention to your kids. And I think her kids kind of went the other way of like, one of them doesn't look in the mirror. One of them hates germs. Like, what can I control? So, I mean, I think that happens in relationships. So I'm not saying this is like, I still think there's some movification of it, but I also think it's grounded enough just for you to roll with it and believe it.
Absolutely. Because she's dealing with the trauma that is not the focus of the movie. It's a backdrop. But how she deals with that trauma is significant. She is trying to redefine herself. Again, like you said, going on this cruise, this was her trying to reestablish who she is as an individual so that she is whole as an individual who can come back and be whole as mom to these kids. Her well is empty. She's got to go back, refill, so that she can actually be something substantial to take care of these kids because she is on her own now. That's not a conversation people are accustomed to having. But it's a real conversation. I remember years ago, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett were having a conversation where he's like, you can't be my number one. I have to be my number one. Because if I'm not full, then I can't take care of you like you need to. So I have to be my number one. And I'm like, there's so many people that would say that's selfish, but his rationale is completely right. Like, how do I take care of you if I'm not taken care of? And I always felt like that's what Catherine Hahn was doing as their mom. She had to take care of herself. Just from the outside perspective, it does look selfish. The kids are hurt. She's not there, but she is doing something to take care of herself so that she can come back to take care of them. This isn't her forever position. This is just a snapshot moment that looks unfortunate based on the circumstance, but give the full range, it's totally different.
How many hairy chest contests have you won?
Oh my god. I don't know if I could get into that.
I love it too. Her boyfriend, I think they broke up with her because she's like, "Are you sure you want those short stack pancakes?" She has her faults. I mean, I just think that's I just think it's so funny too. Like, well, he's gone. Like, I have no luck. That's also a thing though, where she's like, "Are you sure you want to eat those?" And she's like, "Can you believe this guy? Like, that's my luck." You're like, "No, like."
You kind of push.
I love that about that character, and there's like an interesting, believably flawed aspect to these characters, and also I think another thing that sells me on this movie is I had seen Peter McRobbie in other movies as Pop, and I had seen Deanna Dunnigan as Nana, but I didn't associate, like, it's not like watching Tom Cruise on screen. When I watched these two, they were Nana and Pop. Like, they seemed very, I don't know, I was able to, I thought that was just interesting about them. It's not like watching, Julia Roberts on screen, Mel Gibson. Like, I love Signs, and I think Mel Gibson does a great job in it, but it's still watching Mel Gibson. So, like, watching these two, these are frightening creations by these two actors.
Very.
And just watching, like, they're, like, with the scene when he has the gun in his mouth, where she's, and I think one of the craziest moments is when she's eating the cookies and she goes, "Yahtzee!" Like, M. Night got some performances out of these two that are really quite excellent.
Oh, absolutely. Can we address the notion of horror from an elderly antagonist? We don't get that too often. Like even if it's the notion of someone is, older, it's usually by way of them being some form of supernatural, right? Like Phantasm or something like that. They look old, but that's because they are supernaturally extended,
they are old,
right?
really old.
These are right, exactly. These are elderly people, senior citizens that are like I'm almost going as far as to say this is the beginning of the renaissance of older actors being seen as specific figure types that are usually reserved for younger people. Because if you think like around this time, we're getting Taken, which takes Liam Neeson as an older character who is now, the BA guy that's gonna wreck shop and I have a certain set of skills. This is stuff that is now moving in that direction. We can have older people that are falling in love. What's the hotel story?
The Marigold Hotel. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're seeing this new idea that Hollywood is evolving where you don't have to age out of your significance. And I think this is one of those movies that really sets a bar that we haven't really returned to too much, but it's ripe for potential. Older people as just very interesting characters. And it was beautifully done.
If you think about it, I know this, I'm not trying to be outrageous here, but you read a lot about how, like, you see in movies too, where an older character will be like, people just don't notice me anymore. I can sneak into places. I think in Ocean's 11, they even use that as a plot line, or Ocean's 13, one of those. You have these Nana, and I hate saying Nana. You have Grandma and Pop, and you don't expect it because they're Nana and Pop. And I think that's a really good Trojan horse to get, create some tension with these characters. And so I do think the trailers did this movie. The trailers did not do this movie any favors. And I understand why you had to show that, because this got butts in seats. I mean, I think this movie opened up to $60 million domestically, which is a huge comeback for M. Night. And I think the trailers were a big reason for it. Get in the oven. That never plays out, the get in the oven, but it's still a good moment of tension. Like, no one ever burns in the oven.
Oh my God.
But it is.
But that moment in the trailer, I was guaranteed to see that.
Get in the oven. And that's a good Chekhov's bit too, because you're like, oh, someone's going to burn in that thing. But nope. Grandma gets stabbed in the side by a glass shard instead. And you're like, whoa.
That's not the move.
I guess it's a good twist on like Chekhov's gun that you have that in there. And I do think when I watched, I knew that these two were villains. I did not know that they killed the grandparents and took over. I thought maybe like aliens or I don't know. Like you never know.
Right.
But it's still a fun twist to it, and it's devious, right? I think that's why this movie. I mean, think about Sixth Sense. Like he was dead the whole time. It's pretty funny.
You're just like, wow.
And the lady, The Village, it was modern times. A lot of people scoffed at that, but I love that this one, like, they were just killed, and it's me. Like, I'm gonna send kids to their grandparents, but they've been killed, and it's two psychiatric patients who met them, realized they were coming, and wanted to have a good week. Right. That's quite devious, and it's funny though. To me, like that's funny. Like M. Night's. I bet you M. Night sat there and just smiled while thinking about this movie because it's devious and it's funny.
It's got a fantastic premise to a point where, again, like this is something that you would almost expect to have been Twilight Zone oriented, and he ran with it, and that's the thing I think makes it really cool. And again, speaking to the unseen nature of the older couple. I mean, I think one of the first times I ever noticed something like that in film was Dirty Dancing, right? Where the older couples, they're the ones that are pickpockets, but nobody believes that it's them until they get caught literally dropping somebody's, wallet out, and nobody sees it because they're the sweet old couple. It's not them. Like, no, it absolutely was them. They have like this whole ring, like they're international criminals. What are you talking about? But no, man, like there's something really brilliant about understanding the sense of being a storyteller and the commercialization that must be there. Like you said, with the trailer of this movie, again, the oven scene, guaranteed I was going to watch this. I think that's the moment that M. Night laughs the hardest, because you see people being like, oh snap, she about to be in the oven, and he's like, none of that happens. Like that's like what you automatically are assuming never happens, and that's got to be the thing that he laughs about the most, because he knew at that point that everyone was going to be hooked off of this moment, and it doesn't pay, but it does pay anyway. Like it's the most, I don't know, like it's alchemy that's not supposed to work. People should have been pissed that this thing that we just knew was going to happen didn't happen. He subverted that, but we were still so engaged with the rest of the story that you stick around, because at that point they still don't even know exactly what's wrong. Like they haven't figured that out yet, so it's still, it's so fun.
You
it's
bringing
so
that up, and us talking about the people complained about the oven, like it goes nowhere, but it doesn't have to go somewhere. It's a misdirect, and the crawl space is a misdirect as well. The shotgun is a misdirect as well. These characters, you introduce several factors of the gun, the crawl space, the oven. But at the end of the day, I keep saying this because it's insane. A 15-year-old murders her nana with a glass shard, and a kid slams this guy's head into oblivion with a refrigerator. The payoff, I mean, we do get a payoff of the freezing. We get a payoff of the diapers in a beautiful way. So yes, there are certain like moments that play back, but it's also really, I think there are some very tight scripts that they introduce something, it's used later, and that's good screenwriting. I think that is tight screenwriting. It shows you put out cue cards. It shows that you thought it through. But then it's fun when there's the visit that you're expecting one thing. Oh, there's gonna be a crawl space action scene. No, there's not. It's quite. I don't know. I think that's an interesting dynamic right there. And I don't know why I just thought about that. Like he really does lead you in other directions. My mind's blown.
Yeah. He puts on a clinic for subverting expectations, and I think that's the thing that the true formula of an M. Night movie is to build up expectations and then subvert it. And in a weird sort of way, I definitely think that the Village is probably the most meta version of him doing that, because the trailer for the Village portrayed it like a pure
We've annoyed them.
Like monsters are coming out.
They're attacking us.
Like, like it set it up as this classic slasher flick thing, and boom, that was the twist. It's not even that type of movie. We went in thinking that it wasn't, and I'll tell you the scene that gave me the most trepidation was when the creatures are attacking, and Bryce Dallas Howard's character is waiting by the door with her hand open, and she's waiting for Joaquin Phoenix to come. And you see the thing is coming just out the peripheral. And you're like, oh my God, it's about to get her. And then he comes into the last minute, grabs her, and closes the door. I have never been more scared in my life.
That was such a good scene.
It was fantastic. But that's the closest you get to horror. And it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant.
Roger Deakins shot that movie beautifully. He's one of my favorite. And then like the scene where he's talking about dancing with her during their wedding, and like it's I really do. I was reading about that film, and I do think it did suffer because of the advertising. I guess the issue is you're a studio executive and you watch The Village. M. Night has total control, and you watch it and you're like, how do I market this? Like I can't show a twist. I can't be like, M. Night Shyamalan has directed a beautiful love story. Like I can't do that. Just put all the monsters in it, I guess. Like I feel for the studio on the trailer, but the trailer did set, and like let's talk about expectations too. I think expectations have really hindered M. Night Shyamalan's career, because you expect a twist. And I've been really dealing with something lately with movies, and I've been thinking about this for a long time, where people go into a movie and they expect something. They expect it based on the trailer, the director, the actor, the rating, the genre. I think there is a certain amount of entitlement that comes into expectations, because this sounds crazy to me. Like it's not, but like it's not. I don't know why I said that, but I think there is entitlement, because you're going, this is what I want. You watch a movie, and it's not what you want, so you don't like it.
Right.
I watched Black Widow. It's not what I wanted. I was hoping that after, 11 years, Scarlett Johansson, who I think she's a stronger actor than anybody in the MCU. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. is good. I think Mark Ruffalo, but I think she is Oscar nominated, like screen presence, amazing. This movie kind of Blade Trinity'd her and put her in the background to Florence Pugh and David Harbour. Johansson's character was Black Widow was never that comedic. So by putting her with two weirdos, you're not going to have a good dynamic. However, it wasn't the movie I wanted, but I still enjoyed it. I loved Florence Pugh's character. I loved David Harbour. I liked that the villain he was trying to be a version of the Avengers with his flying city. They had a flying city. He was trying to be super soldiers. He was trying to be a version of something else. And so once I got over what I wanted, I was able to just say, I really like the movie. But I do think some people walk into an M. Night movie and they expect things. Like they expect a twist. They expect this. And when they don't get it, they don't like it.
Or if they didn't see it. If the twist actually, if I'm going in looking for the twist and I missed it, I will say, and I'm speaking like this universal, not me personally, but I will say that you failed as the movie director because I was looking for the thing and I'm smart enough that I should have seen it. So you just failed at delivering it the way that I thought you should. It is this weird saving face gesture that is brutal when it comes to criticism. One, because for the most part, very few of us in this world are actual filmmakers and storytellers. So one, where do we stand to actually suggest that someone whose career is to do this, that they did it poorly? That's one thing. Number two, we actually have given people access to having a voice to say these things. Other people can pile on to those statements because they felt the same way. But again, with the inexperienced undercurrent of, I'm from the outside looking in and I'm judging what I think you should have done without any sort of prereq for me having this opinion. We've built something that almost makes it impossible to not be subject to other people's expectations. I think the first time that I ever experienced it and I had to literally check myself was Man of Steel. Man of Steel, I had an idea of what I thought it was going to be. I'll share this one because, if Warner Brothers wants to hire me, I'm open to it. What I thought Man of Steel was going to be was Clark going on a journey around the world, and he was going to introduce us to other figures in what would end up being the DCEU. So he had heard about the Blur in Central City. So he goes to find him, and he does find him, and it's Barry Allen, and he's talking to him, and he's like, what made you decide to do this? He finds the Aquaman, and he talks to him, and he's like, why did you do this? He tries to find the Batman, and he can't find him. Like, this Batman person might actually be a myth because I couldn't find him at all. And what he's trying to do is figure out, I have these abilities. Should I use them for the service of the world? You guys are already doing it. Do you need me? And after he talks to everybody, he comes to the conclusion, no, you don't need me. Like, I can just be a guy. I'm okay with that. And then the Kryptonians come, and the other guys are completely outmatched, and now he has to step up because he sees that there's this opportunity where these guys, as great as they are, they can't match them, but he can. And so that sets up, his mindset. That's what I thought Man of Steel was going to be. So when it wasn't that at all, I was disappointed. But then I had to check and go, it's not the story that I wanted to see, but what story did they tell me? So I went back and watched it again and was like, actually, I do like the story that they told me. It works really well. So I get that. But at the same time, I am a storyteller. So maybe that's one of my flaws as a storyteller. I can't put that skill set down all the time. And it's true, I can't. There'll be a ton of movies that I will roast because on a storytelling level, I don't think they accomplished X, Y, Z. But again, I will say I am a storyteller. These will be the things that I will, back it up with. Like, you'll never hear me say somebody can't act. I'm not an actor.
Yeah,
I don't have the
they
right
got
to
cast. Let's say you and I are someone listens to this episode, right? Ridley Scott listens to this. He's like, man, Victor and Mark, they got some personalities. I'm gonna put them in my next Alien prequel. We get a call from CAA, and they're like, okay, we want you two to be ship's pilots who get killed by aliens because we get lost. I don't know, we get lost.
Right?
We're not gonna say no. And so you and I show up on stage. We're out of our league. We've never acted. I mean, I've had extra roles, but that's not acting. I was horrible in those roles. You and I, we have to carry dialogue, we have to be funny, and we are bad. People watch this movie and they're like, whoa, like the movie's good, like it's 78%, but that scene with those two dummies getting lost, like that was bad. Like, that's not our fault. Like, we got hired, we got paid.
That's not us, man. Come on.
I hate saying the bad actor thing. You're right. It's like, that person's terrible. Or like, why? Like, what? Like, what was the editing like? What was the footage like? What was the director like? Were they rushed? Did they lose days? How much money? There's so many, because I spent years of my life drinking coffee on film sets, so I understand how hard it is to act. So yeah, I mean, yeah. Wait, Ridley Scott, put us in the next Alien movie. We won't be terrible. We won't be terrible. We'll be.
No. My chest can burst.
We'll be serviceable in it. Yeah, we'll be.
We're fans, so definitely we'll bring that at least.
Yeah, no, you're right. I love what you said about actors because, remember Jake Lloyd in Phantom Menace? They're like, that kid's a terrible. That hurt. That attacking kids.
He's a child. Yeah, like how do you go at a kid like that? Like that's crazy.
People attacked M. Night. People attacked him. Like the whole Quentin Tarantino called him Shyamalan. I hate saying it, but he's like Shyamalan Ding Dong, Shyamalan. Like, and then so his name became that. Wow. Like Robot Chicken did it. So then you're like making fun of his. It was a norm. Like, let's make fun of his last name. Let's make fun of his twist. Like, this is a guy who entertains us, and you know what?
He does.
People hate The Happening, but I would rather watch The Happening, watch a movie where a director swung like in Signs, and maybe missed. Yep. He wanted to make a B movie. A lot of people didn't get on board with that, and I think he did miss, but I still love it because he swung. And
there's some brilliant things about that movie.
Here's everybody. Let's get away from everybody. It works. It's a good plot. Yeah. Like, it's a good plan. And
how about the notion that The Happening is more poignant post-COVID than it was pre-COVID.
Yep. It's just, listen, Mark Wahlberg took it because he could play a science teacher. And if you just think about the plot, let's just get away from people. That's the plot. And it makes sense, but people attacked him, man. People, like, he became a joke. And this is an entertainer. Like, you don't have to pay to see this person's movie. And so it was just, I don't know. I know we talked about expectations and doing all that, but very rarely in our lifetimes have we seen a rise, fall, rise. And listen, this sounds bad, but like in 2013, I wrote an article after watching Another Earth or Airbender. And I remember on Movies, Films, and Flicks, I just wrote, just give him $5 million and let him make a movie. Because this is when Insidious is rolling. This is when those movies have come out. And then guess what he does? 2015, $5 million, makes The Visit. And he comes back. Like, that's his strength. He's not a hired gun. Like, I have a question. You do a lot of you come up with a lot of stories, but if someone comes up to you and they're like, here's big bucks, write a graphic novel about a blackboard eraser that gets superpowers and marries a sea turtle. I don't know. You're going to write it, but you're not going to have passion for it. It's not.
No. Ooh. Please say that again for the cheap seats in the back, because that is important for people to understand is taking a job doesn't always mean that you love the job that you took. How many people go to work every day and don't like it? Okay. In the creative field, it can sometimes be like that. Like maybe in order to get this thing that I love, I have to do two things that I don't love. Not that I hate them, but I don't love them. And you can feel the lack of love therein. Sometimes it's something where you take an opportunity because you think you have a perspective, and maybe that perspective isn't beloved by everybody. Again, you swung. You took the shot. You know, there's anybody, again, sports analogies. If the clock is ticking down and you're down by 2, right? You're at half court. Shoot it.
Yeah. Yep.
Shoot it. The worst thing you can do is sit there and dribble. That's the worst thing you can do. You know, if you shoot it, it's 50-50. Either you'll win the game or you won't, but you tried. Like that's it.
And that's what Airbender and Another Earth, it did not feel like M. Night swinging. It felt like safe M. Night.
Right.
And my least favorite James Bond film is Quantum of Solace because it feels like a Jason Bourne film. It doesn't feel like listen, there are worse Bond films, but favorite to me, it plays like a Bourne film. So I don't want to watch a Bourne film. I don't want to see a safe
If I want to watch porn, I watch
exactly.
porn.
I don't want to watch a safe M. Night movie. I was watching Airbender, and the dialogue was so lifeless that I was like, man, like, just who's dead? Are they dead the whole time? Like, bring something in here. Where's Joaquin Phoenix? Like, give me something. And watching The Visit again, he swung. Like, he put his own money up there, and I love it. It makes, and you know, he did a big casting call. I like the kids. Like, you know, a lot of people like what Olivia DeJonge, she was really good as Becca. I can't believe though. Well, you've had teenagers when she corrects Pop Pop at the table about Milton Bradley.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing, Becca? I mean, what is that normal? Like, what? That's
so. There's always a time period where a teen, particularly 14, 15 and up, will test you. That's what we call it. It's testing you because they believe that they have the answers, right? Like they think they've experienced enough to have the answers to challenge you. And even if you do say something incorrect, that's their opportunity to show how advanced they are. And that's the problem. That is literally the problem. Yes, I've had it. It's one of those things where it's like, I know I said something wrong, but if you latch into the 1% thing that I said was wrong and dismiss the 99% that I said was correct, you're the a-hole. And that's definitely what she was on. That was definitely what she was on. Right?
You know that they just hung a woman. They hung a woman, and you're correcting them. Like,
like don't poke the bear. Don't poke the bear.
And then Tyler, I think the kid was real. I don't know. He did have the teenager movie haircut for sure. You think about Liar Liar and all those. I mean, that's the kid haircut in there. But you know, his little thing 100%. With germs. I think his performance was really out and open, and it was very earnest. And his rapping was quite interesting. But I think whatever, like the kid's into that music, he does it. Yeah, exactly. He's a kid who loves that stuff, and like he calls his grandma a hoe, and everyone loves it. And then at the end, he gets a song at the end. Like I don't know. I think they cast really well in this, and you know what's kind of crazy? This is how I know people love M. Night Shyamalan, because I watched the behind the scenes footage of this film, and there's not much to it. There never really is much to it on an M. Night film, but he has the same crew coming back for all of his movies. $100 million movies, $5 million movies, Split, Glass. Yep. When the kid from Unbreakable came back for Glass, he said it was almost the same crew that worked with M. Night.
That's awesome.
M. Night rolls with the same group. Sam Jackson wants to work with him continuously. Bruce Willis works with him continuously. Joaquin Phoenix was supposed to be in Split. Really? You talk about he left. So Joaquin Phoenix left Split, and then McAvoy came in with no time to prep. And he went and I think he nailed it. But you get just a lot of the people coming back. Like Will Smith and M. Night are still friends. Mark Wahlberg and M. Night are still friends. I think something about, they love how prepared he is. James McAvoy, during an interview for Split, was like, I'm on these film sets and these directors are like, hey man, can you like make this better? He's like, why is it? Why do I have to? Yeah,
why is that my job?
My job? He's like, M. Night, he just tells you. He's very struck. And Sam Jackson was funny. During Unbreakable, I guess M. Night would tell him when to blink and breathe. And he's gotten better since then. So on Glass, M. Night would be like, hey, Sam, do you want to do one for yourself? He's like, no, because you won't use it. But at least M. Night asks now about that. But the same crew works with him. The same, even when he was down and out, his entire crew came back to work with him on The Visit. So this is a guy who people love. Actors love him. His crew loves him. People like working on his movies. So, I mean, I'm just so glad he got over that hump. Like, it's I don't know.
What you're talking about, though, is that the experience of working with M. Night, everyone loves. Critically, maybe not everyone loves the execution of what he does, but the actual experience of making the thing, which is an art form unto itself. Like, again, that is something else that people need to understand. Like you were saying, the ability to make a movie from start to finish is an experience unto itself. Okay, that is definitely something that not everybody can do. Not everybody can do to, every level and degree. Kevin Smith is one of my favorite directors, creatives in the world. And I love how he is open about, I can't make that kind of movie.
Exactly.
I don't know how. It's not that he doesn't make movies. It's not that he doesn't watch movies, but whatever that thing is, he's like, I can't do that. I know that. It's not my lane. So I don't even try to get into it. This is me. So the notion that M. Night creates this experience that other people, touted professionals, legends in the game, who could go anywhere, literally anywhere, still want to do stuff with him, whether big budget, small budget, it is a testament to his ability as a director to lead people in a creative effort. It's brilliant.
You just said it perfectly, man. I can't say it any better than that. But it also too, like, I think James McAvoy loved working with him because he just, I don't know. I like how controlled he is. I like M. Night. I don't know. There's something about an auteur. Like, I love Wes Anderson. He's one of my favorite directors. I love Edgar Wright. I was thinking about this the other day. I think a lot of my favorite directors. I mean, listen, I love Paul Anderson. Actually, you can tell Paul Anderson, Paul W.S. Anderson, not Paul Thomas Anderson. But I do like auteurs who are very specific and who have their art and have refined it. I respect that. And I just respect that about M. Night. I love it. Hey, so how about this? I want to do something real quick before we go on with this movie.
Okay.
On MFF, Movies, Films, and Flicks, we do a lot of polls. And so I want to do one, me versus you. We'll do an M. Night Shyamalan directed movie draft.
Okay.
So we'll each pick.
Let's go.
I think, how many movies has he directed? He has directed, we could probably do 4 each. So let me check. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, he's done Wide Awake. We can leave that out. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, we can do 5. 5 each. We're going to do like best to worst. So I will let you have first pick. Okay. And then I'll follow that.
Best is absolutely going to be Unbreakable.
So you got Unbreakable.
That's That's definitely going to be me. If I have to justify that one, I'll argue for anybody.
It's his best movie.
To make a comic book movie. Yeah, to make a comic book movie when comic book movies weren't a thing to be made. Because yes, Blade had come out already, but there are so many people that didn't know Blade was based on a comic book. This is the first time that we actually saw comics as a subject matter blatantly on display that wasn't a documentary.
Look at X-Men, right? X-Men wanted to avoid the look. They had the leather suits. It's not,
Exactly.
It embraced the nerd, I guess. And it was cool. All right, so I guess I'll have to go with Sixth Sense because I was working in a theater when it came out. And I got to tell you, 99 was an amazing time to work in a movie theater because you had Fight Club, you had the Phantom Menace, you had Blair Witch, Matrix. This is crazy. The craziest weekend I've ever had working in a movie theater, because I did it on and off for years, was The Runaway Bride and Blair Witch Project opening in the same weekend. And so we had a Crossroads 8 and a Tyrone 6. And I don't know why, but for some reason they opened up Runaway Bride and Blair Witch in the same theater. And you couldn't walk through the lobby. It was just nuts.
Wow. But what a cross section.
Oh yeah, it was bonkers, man. Just watching, remember Julia Roberts' run in the 1990s?
Yes.
Jim Carrey's run, Will Smith's run, those will never be recreated. I don't think we could do that. Their runs, people were like, I'm going to show up to the latest Julia Roberts picture and I don't care what it is. I'm going to show up for Runaway Bride.
That's right.
Beautiful.
That's
run.
right.
All right. What's your second M. Night pick?
My second one would have to be Signs. Oh man. Signs is my number 2. Signs was one that, obviously, Unbreakable, it touched the tone. I'm a comic book guy, comic book creator, so it was already speaking directly to me, right? I'm the choir, I am the church, I am everybody that he's preaching to right then and there. Signs was the place where the way of telling the story is what mattered to me. That's what got even to the point where my favorite part in Signs, again, the scariest part in Signs because of the music, the tone, the tension, is when you finally see the alien for the first time with the video from the birthday party. The way that was built, everything about Signs as a production, I fell in love with. It was perfect.
The fingers under the door.
It was perfect. Oh my God!
Yes. Swing away, Meryl. The tinfoil hats.
Come on, man. You're talking spirituality, destiny. It becomes something so much bigger. I've teased pastors. If you want to do an original sermon based it on the movie Signs. And they're like, that's kind of interesting. I've never heard of anybody doing it, but I'm like, that is one of the most religiously sound stories. If you want to give any sort of credence to the presence of God, that's your movie. That's your movie. Because it's so big, but at the same time, it's internal. Everything about it is internal. I love it.
He keeps his movies on a human scale. And that's what I like. You have a giant invasion and you keep it on the human scale. That's what I'm drawn. Like 10 Cloverfield Lane I like more than Cloverfield. I like the human smaller element. Oh, you put me I have two movies. So okay. I'll take The Village because I think it's his best looking movie. I think Roger Deakins shot it. There are shots in that movie that just give me goosebumps. So yeah, I'm gonna take The Village for my second pick.
I like that. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. You know, I love The Village. You know.
All right, what's your third?
Okay. This one's a tricky one. I'm gonna go ahead and go for The Visit. I'm gonna go for The Visit for number 3.
The comeback.
Yeah. The comeback to it is such a great experience. Again, across the board, the story. The way they danced around, you're following these kids and they're on this kooky adventure that when it goes, I mean again, you've mentioned it a couple times, the diaper was the part where I was like, what is this?
Because he had never done scatological humor before.
Come on, man. Like, I don't think I've ever seen anyone take it to that level. Right? I mean, this is when did The Visit
15.
come out? When did The Visit come out? Is that okay, 15. Okay, so I take that back. Zack and Miri is probably the closest thing that I've seen to that level.
That scene, man. Oh my gosh.
Until then, like in between, we're talking, what's that, 2007 to 2015? Almost 10 years, okay? That's almost 10 years, people, before that happened. So, yes, it's such, it like you are locked in. And even as you're trying to solve the mystery of what the twist is, you never see it coming because it's the simplest, easiest answer, Occam's razor, and you could have never guessed that that's what it is.
That scene.
I'm sorry.
That's a movie of side characters for me. The Zack and Miri A plot is not important to me. I like Justin Long's character. I love Craig Robinson. You have the Jason Mewes in there. I mean, just.
He's so good.
Oh man, I'm feeling. All right, so I guess for my third pick, I'll take Split because as big of a hit that The Visit was, Split made $278 million. So The Visit made 98. I stand corrected, but it made 98 million worldwide. But Split made 278 million, and also had the Unbreakable edition. But when was in this day and age, when in 2016 a movie like Split made 278 million. Nowadays we have Quiet Place pulling in bank, we have Get Out pulling in bank, Conjuring pulling in massive money, but I think Split in 2016 was one of those that like really put the upward trajectory for these box office horror films that make bank. Now we know there's Exorcist, Jaws, but to make that much money, that was like, you look at the bell curve about how much horror is made. And since then, I mean, it's gone up. And 2016 to make 278 million listen, we love James McAvoy, but he's not a headliner. He's in X-Men, but he's not the headliner.
Right.
Then we had,
right.
Oh man, she's in Queen's Gambit. Anna Taylor-Joy. And
yeah.
I mean, that was, to make $278 million with that is something only really I think M. Night could do, right? It shows his power. It shows his flexing. So I gotta do Split.
Yep. See, it's funny because Split was my challenge between that and The Visit. So Split is my number 4.
I had to.
And
I had to take it. Yeah. But I think you have to put it in there because it's very important.
Yeah. Oh, you absolutely do. And I think, if I'm being honest, the success of The Visit allowed for Split to occur.
Absolutely.
If The Visit wasn't successful, we never would have gotten it. And to give M. Night the roses that he absolutely deserves is how he actually created a sequel that no one knew was a sequel.
Yeah.
No one knew that. And again, I am such a homer, and my lady will tell you how I geeked out in the theater. She made fun of me for days after this. I watched Unbreakable so much that when the music cues up as we're coasting through the diner at the end, when the music cues up, I knew what it was. And I'm like, oh my God. And she's like, what? And I was like, no, there's no way we're not about to see David Dunn. And she's like, no, that's not the character's name. And I'm like, no. Shush. David Dunn is from Unbreakable. And she's like, what? And I was like, it's Bruce Willis. We're about to, oh my God. And then sure enough, pans around to him, and I'm like, he just made a sequel and we didn't even know it was a sequel.
I think I picked my wife up and ran around the theater with her.
I don't blame you. I do not blame you.
A beautiful moment.
Oh my God.
All right, we're getting deep in his filmography here. So who's the fourth movie you're gonna take here?
Listen, if I'm being honest, it would have been Split, but for this sake, I'm actually gonna go after.
Oh wow.
I'm going to go After Earth. Yeah, I'm going to go After Earth. After Earth was, I think, the final thing that needed to happen to remind M. Night of who he is and who he is not as a director. I think he was trying something, am I truly, the next Spielberg, right? Because After Earth comes out after Avatar: The Last Airbender, right? Last Airbender was something that he was taking somebody else's toys, right? He was trying to take Airbender was him being Spielberg trying to do Raiders of the Lost Ark, which is a Lucas idea, and Lucas kind of had some things, worked out, and then Spielberg tries to tell this story. That's what that was. And I think M. Night looked at it and said, okay, that didn't really work, but let me still try to do something big, but a little bit more original. Whether that absolutely worked or not, I think is arguable. I think there are some brilliant things within it. I do think that, again, the subversive nature of, it's a Will Smith movie, but he's hardly in it. It's a father-son story, and they've done father-son stories. Him and Jaden have been in movies together.
Pursuit of Happiness.
Thank you. Yes. And they were phenomenal together as the father-son aspect. It's real. It works. They managed to, do that. And you don't just go, oh, well, you just got this job because you're his kid. No, like it creates something great. But once he did that, I think he looked at it and goes, big budget ain't for me. Like, that's not my space. And that's the thing that we needed to get that proper reset that allows for him to be M. Night moving forward. Like, he's comfortable being M. Night. And I give After Earth its credit for giving us that reset to give us back the thing that we needed.
That's a bold choice. I love it. That's a great point. I wish I could include this in the poll.
Thank you.
But people. So I got to take The Happening because I love it. It's
Nice.
It's gory. There's lions murdering people. It's Mark Wahlberg talking to plants. But I get the talking to plants moment. I think I hate dogpiling, and I think there is I just want to say The Happening made $163 million worldwide, and that's pretty good for an R-rated movie.
Small. Yeah, I was gonna say, that's not bad.
The Happening, I think people just wanted to dogpile on it, but do I think he made all the right choices in it? I guess not. But I do think that there's people getting lawn mowed in this movie. There's that lady like, are you gonna kill me in my sleep? No, it's just so earnest. And
dude,
I gotta take
with the people jumping off in the building or the building in the beginning. It's just raining bodies. You've never seen that before. I was
bummed out though because I'm a huge M. Night fan and I'm a big actually the guy from Clerks is in that movie too. But I'm a big John Leguizamo fan.
Ryan O'Halloran. Yeah.
And I thought Leguizamo didn't have the biggest role. I was hoping he would have more of a role. Right. But I guess that's a good surprise that he got killed off. But I was like Leguizamo's in ER. They turn him into a drug addict. He's in The Happening. Oh, he gets killed. I'm like, just give Leguizamo something good. Yeah, that's my rant about Leguizamo. But that's my one thing I don't like about it. All right, so fifth and final pick here. What's your last pick for our draft?
Oh. Lady in the Water.
Yeah.
Lady in the Water. Yeah, that's that one. It is a grown up live action Disney film before Disney decided to do grown-up live action. And it's so very sweet. It's like, I don't know, the grown-up like cousin of the Neverending Story to me. There's something about it that is so sweet and beautiful. I remember the first time I watched it, it was a late night. I'm home alone. It's on. And so I'm like, well, let me just watch this one. I didn't see it in the theater. Let me just watch it. And I loved it. I couldn't understand why people didn't. And I'm just like, this is the sequel in terms of context to Unbreakable. People didn't get it. They didn't understand why they should like this. And I won't fault them for it, but I will definitely point at them and go, you guys just didn't get it. You didn't get what was so great about it.
It's just, I think the narrative was being set at the time. People were like sort of filled with hate, but you watch you know what sells me on that movie is how committed Giamatti and all the actors are.
Oh,
I mean, they had 100% faith in M. Night. 100%.
Yep.
They put everything they had into his vision. And that's a set I want to be on. That's trust I want. Yeah. And I loved it. I thought and he put Paul Giamatti in a lead role. Like, that's pretty cool.
Come on. And it works, right? Like, in such a way that it's not, super self-defacing at all. He becomes a character that grows and thrives and becomes the hero that everybody needs him to be. I do think, like, you're absolutely right. The dogpiling was beginning because this is after The Village. And when you have a movie that is marketed one way and the actual execution is so very different from what it was marketed, people got upset and they were jaded. And this is the next feature. And so they really kind of...
It's the exact wrong feature, too, because it's earnest and it's a fairy tale.
Right! Like, you guys came in super cynical on something that you needed to have your childlike innocence, and you missed it. You absolutely missed it.
People, why does that guy have the big arm? I'm like, come on, guys, it's a fairy tale. It's like, I know this sounds crazy, man, and I don't know how you feel about it, but Tenet, I watched Tenet, and I was like, okay, this is about two groups from the future. Have you seen it? Oh, he's like, this is about two groups from the future going to the past, one trying to eradicate humanity, one trying to stop them because of what happens in the future. It can be broken down quite simply, but people watching are like, I don't understand it. I don't know what's going on. What is and Wonder Woman 84, they're like, I don't understand what's happening. I'm like, no, a guy gets wishes and he turns into this monster because of all that kind of stuff. Like, it's very easy to understand. Like no half measures. And it's just, but sometimes this narrative gets set and people don't want to like it. I don't know. I don't know.
No. Here's the plea. Here's the absolute plea to the critical community is, when you don't like something, I need you to effectively self-reflect on why you don't like it. And is it actually the thing you don't like, or are you influenced by any outside sentiment, statement, what have you, that is jaundicing your impression of this thing?
Yep.
It has very little to do with the not understanding, how this happened. It's not the story that I would have wanted, because the portrayal of Diana is not my favorite. Like, Wonder Woman is one of my favorite characters. So I have a set idea of what I expect Diana to act like. If you fall short of that without a justification, I don't like it.
There's some weird bits in that movie, for sure. But you understand it, right? But it's still like, don't tell me you don't understand it. Like, you can say, listen, Diana is not like what the Chris Pine angle. I get it. Like, I 100% get it. But it's about no half measures and like that kind of stuff. Like, it's not hard to understand.
Right. They didn't forget to tell you this thing, and therefore you're missing this information. It's whether or not you liked what they told you. That's all it is, right? So if you're, again, like you said, if you say, I don't understand, you weren't paying attention. And it's not the filmmaker's fault. That is actually yours. That is actually yours.
All right, so I guess I got to finish up with Glass, because that was an event film. Glass was an event film. It made $247 million. It was, okay, guess the budget of Glass.
What was it?
20. But that's still nothing. That's nothing.
Dang. That is, for a superhero movie, the end part of a trilogy, that is literally... if I'm not mistaken, 20 million, Robert Downey Jr. got more than 20 million to be in
2.5 that. He got like 50 million back end. Like, it's...
See?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, So they made a whole movie off of what one dude would get in another franchise. Like
it's 20 million. And you have A-listers. You have Bruce Willis, Sam Jackson,
Right.
McAvoy,
Yes.
Anna Taylor-Joy, who was huge
Yes.
at the time. I mean, you had a who's who of people. And he refused.
What's the doctor?
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, she's so good. American Horror Story. And yes. Yeah. Huge.
She's huge.
And
love her.
The ending, they refused to go to the city and smash up Philly. They just stuck at that place, and Mr. Glass had planned that out. Like, it's just and like there's a group of people out there wanting to stop him. Like, it's just it was an event film for me. It was a $20 million movie that I'm not being provocative here. I think sometimes people are provocative when they talk about movies, but this was kind of like the most anticipated movie of the year for me because I loved Unbreakable. I think Mr. Glass is one of my favorite villains ever. With the whole, my bones break, so there must be somebody who's opposite that. Like it's beautiful. So this was the event. So I know I picked it at 5.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, it's not. I don't like it as much as Unbreakable, so I had to kind of put it there. But
no, I get that.
And
it was hard for me not to just ride the Unbreakable trilogy team in there myself. I'm not gonna lie, that was really hard for me to do. But the thing that I love about Glass is the subjugation of expectations. This is a movie that required the interim 20 years to happen between Unbreakable and Glass to build the expectation of what the end of a superhero trilogy movie was going to be. We needed to have an end game set up. We needed to have this concept of, it's going to be this big knockdown, drag out fight. But the truth is, if people fought in reality, it's going to be something quiet. It's not going to be tearing down buildings. Even if people had powers, like, it would be so localized. It's not funny. Like, that's the thing. As I said before, my interest in Man of Steel, when people think of the physics of these things, they go bombastic, but they really don't think logistically. If Superman, as a super strong person, punches a regular person, they get obliterated. Like, it's a mess. So if you take somebody that is as powerful as Superman and he punches him, it's just going to look like if a regular person punches a regular person. It's not going to knock him into a building because their strength factor is the same.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we overinflated, like, because he's so powerful, his punch is going to execute on this matching person with this greater scheme. It's like, no, it would be like two regular people fighting each other because they're now equal. It's different, of course, if somebody is more powerful than Superman and punches him. But if you're the same power level, it's going to look like regular people.
That's a great point. Yeah, if you and I got into a fight and you punch me, the way I'd go flying is that you hit me hard enough for me to just backpedal for 20 feet and then land on like a big cake. I don't know why I'm landing on a cake, but that's the way I see it. I'm not going to go flying through the Chrysler building.
Yeah, definitely a cake. Definitely a cake.
Yeah.
No. Maybe on the basis of my strength level or your strength level, if I hit you and you stumble back and you fall on a thing,
a catapult.
Then you'll probably break that thing. But you're not gonna. I'll hit you and the leg of that building is gonna go out. No, you're gonna be like, oh, that was a good one. Yeah. And it's
true.
That's the strength factor. But again, movie making, you got to put some of that stuff aside. But that's what I loved about Glass is that they did that. It was like, this is a real fight.
Yeah.
It's a real fight. That's all.
No one's flying 100 yards.
No.
Well, this was fun. Thank you so much for joining me to talk about The Visit here. I'm really glad we did this. And I've been wanting to get like a lot of this M. Night stuff off my chest for a long time. So I'm glad we discussed it.
Yes. I'm glad to, be a mutual fan because I'm sure because it's so in vogue, they're like, M. Night, to find people that are like, no, I love his work. Catalog, full catalog. We're not cherry picking. We're not being like, well, he was good up until. No. He's good. Period.
You know what? Okay. I look at directors the way I look at baseball. What's the best batting average ever in baseball, would you say? I mean, this is a crazy question to ask you. But I mean, like Ichiro hitting singles every day. Like it's well, let's say 378. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Okay.
That's not 1,000. That's not perfect.
No.
So
no.
You got like that. The best baseball player hit 378, and I could be wrong with it. 417. I don't know. That's still not even 50%.
Right.
So you gotta. I don't know.
You gotta give it that room.
Yeah,
man.
It's
Come on.
I don't know. Like Ichiro has a bad game, and people are like, he's a bum. I mean, it's not.
You're like, whoa.
Yeah. Like, this guy's terrible. I hate him. He only hits singles. But yeah, I don't know. That's the way I look at it. Like LeBron James, Michael Jordan doesn't have a 100% shooting percentage, so why should I know they shoot a lot more, but whatever. But it's
but why
exactly.
should anybody? Like that's how do you look? I put it like this: how do you value making the shot if you never miss?
Exactly. That's why M. Night values everything.
We saw that
now.
Yes, because he was at the top. He saw that the air is super thin up there, and he came back down and was like, I'm gonna just try these hills. I'm gonna just try these.
Interesting hills. With Fincher, David Fincher. He had Alien 3 early, and he got that out of the way and went on a run. Yeah. And then you have Spielberg, who had 1941 quite early-ish in his career. Then he went on a run. I think sometimes you get super hot directors who make a flop, and people just dogpile them. But when you're early in your career, when you haven't had those, like, it's good to get that out. Like, M. Night got the massive flops out sort of late in his career. Right. So then people just really were against him because they're so used to the hype. So it's almost good to get your dud out of the way in the beginning and learn from that.
It really is. I mean, granted, you can't necessarily know if it's going to be a dud, but I think, with Spielberg, like how many things Spielberg has been attached to that he was supposed to direct and didn't for whatever reason, eliminated the idea of his fall from grace throughout the years. Like, I think Spielberg was very lucky that, at the time of his runs, when it came to potential duds, he had the ability to step back and go, no, I'm not taking that. M. Night hit so hard right away that I don't think he ever got to the place where he could go, I'm not going to do that one. No, I'm good. I don't want to do that. Until there was a couple of, flops. But even then, the flop was in the matter of the reception of the thing. And I'm hard pressed to say in the execution. Go into The Happening. The worst thing about The Happening is that for a B movie, it's shot too well. It's too pretty for a B movie.
Yeah.
If that's your failure, that's not a failure, man. Like, that's your artwork is too good to be this sloppy, alternative underground thing that you're aiming for. Sorry.
He made it too clean almost, like too good looking.
Right.
Oh, before we get out of here, I just want to drop a cool stat on you. Yeah. The tomato meter for his movies with budgets under 50 million is 55%. And the budget over 50 million is only 38%. So that's a pretty big swing. So he definitely he's stronger in the lesser budgeted films, which I think is quite interesting.
Yep. He does more with less. Cool. And knowing that has me excited for Old.
Be good.
Small cast, single location.
Good actors. Well, hey, so I'm gonna make sure to put all of your stuff in the post when I put it on MFF, when I put it out there for everyone to listen to. But do you want to promote your everything you got so far? Like, yeah.
Yes, definitely. Find me. I'm a self-publishing comic book creator. My imprint is called Vantage In-House Productions. You can follow me on all forms of social media at Vantage In-House, all one word, VANTAGEINHOUSE. Right now, and depending on when you're hearing this, I have a Kickstarter. It's called the VIP Phase 2 in 1, where I am bringing 2 new comic book projects to life in one campaign. I got told by a lot of people that, bringing one book to life is really hard. And if I'm the hardest working man in comics, I got to try for 2. So I'm trying to expand my universe. Again, self-contained stories that actually connect to create a bigger shared multiverse. So if you like one title, you don't necessarily want to follow another one, that's cool. We have something for everybody. Just pick your taste, find the thing that fits it, and we will serve.
Jet Ski Twins, right? That's the name of one of them.
Oh my God, it's coming. Hey, listen, you keep talking about jet skis. You see how they're in the zeitgeist. They popped up in Loki as a conversation piece. I think you're onto something. Jet skis is the future.
Go to Vista Del Mar. It's my favorite movie of 2021. Beautiful jet ski gag. And then you got Loki. I mean, there's jet skis everywhere.
Come on. Everywhere. You called it, man. You called it.
I got enough out there, too. So when these things hit, people are going to read all my stuff.
And they'll be like, this guy, he knew. It's like, Mark.
Jet ski Damas.
Recognize. Please put that on something. Jet ski Damas has to have hashtag.
Oh, yeah. I'll start You know what? I'm going to start hashtagging things. That's hilarious. Yes. All right, man. Well, thank you for joining me, Victor. All right,
thank you,
for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, and for Victor Dandridge, this is Movies from the Flicks. We'll see you next week.